Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. And folks, just when you think you've read it all, there's something new in the EU. And that was the case for me on this next one I'm going to talk about. This one is called the Ewok Annual. It was a UK release only, and it contained a bunch of reprinted stories from the Ewoks cartoon comic books. But the reason why this is significant is because it also carried 3 short stories that were never reprinted. Now, I'm going to go over each story and tell you a little bit about it and then tell you more about this Ewok Annual in a minute. So let's get into what these 3 stories were about. The first one is called Chief Chirpa Kidnapped. Dulocs raid the Ewoks during a harvest time and they steal some of their crop, and unknowingly they kidnap Chief Chirpa as well. Now, the fun thing about this short story is it happens during the Ewok festival of Halloween. Not Halloween, Halloween. And the Ewoks are dressed as ghosts. It's a cute little story, and not much. Of course, you know, they're going to rescue Chief Chirpa, and that's going to be the adventure. But anyway, the second short story that was in the Ewoks Annual is called Return of the Great One. A Kradak awakens in the indoor village. Kanisha, Tebow, and Wicked have to use a shrinking spell so that when it rises, it will be very small instead of huge and destroy the forest. Unfortunately, they get the shrinking spell mixed up with the sleeping potion, and, well, things happen. But, you know, it's just another fun little story. Now, these do have pictures associated with them from time to time, but basically they are about, I would say, about 2 pages long, each short story. It's all in words. It's not a comic book. It's just basically short stories in words. Now, let me go ahead and get to the third one here. It's called The Ice Princess. And in this one, Kanisha is bitten by an ice beetle that encases her in ice. And Tebow and Wicked have to find a fire plant to save her because, of course, fire melts ice, and that makes sense in indoor. What did I think of all these? Well, these were just short little stories that were fun. They were enjoyable. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in the second, I think it's the second short story, we find out the board game Monopoly exists in the Star Wars universe because Wicked and Kanisha tell Tebow to keep the Kradak busy. He went, how am I supposed to keep him busy? You know, play Monopoly? You know, keep him busy. What am I supposed to do? Make him play Monopoly? Some line like that. And I was like, what? Monopoly? What? So Monopoly exists in the expanded universe. Okay, so very loosely, these are children's books. Short stories. They're just fun. They were thrown in the Ewok Annual. There is no author. No author took credit for writing these, which I find kind of amazing, but I guess they were just trying to make an issue to sell over in the UK, and they just didn't attach their name to it or didn't think it was important to do that. But how did I find out about this? Well, folks, you should already know about this if you bought the Galaxy Far, Far Away Exploring the EU comic books. This is one of the Sequart books, the second one that came out in the series, and it focused on the comic books. Now, there's a story in there where Rich Hanley talks about UK comic books and how they differed from the ones we got in America. And one of the things he mentions is the Ewoks Annual. I gotta admit, I read Rich's story a long time ago before this book came out. Rich actually was kind enough to let me see what he wrote, and so while I was reviewing it, I read about the Ewoks Annual, and I was like, what? Wait, what? What's an Ewok? Do I have that? And I'm looking everywhere for it. I don't remember the Ewoks Annual. And then sure enough, I didn't have it. It never got reprinted. And it only came out in the UK, and it's impossible to find. Now, these 3 short stories, they may be around somewhere out there. Thankfully, I was able to get a copy, and I'm very proud of it. And when it came in, the stories aren't much, but the fact that it existed, and I didn't know about it until like 2 years ago, just, like I said, just when I think I have it all, I find something new. And that was, you know, this is during the Disney years now, and I thought I had it all. I mean, you ask me right now, Matt, do you have a complete collection? Yeah, to the best of my knowledge, I do. But watch, something else will pop up along the way, and other stuff has this year already for me that I didn't know about. And so when I heard about this, I was like, Rich, are you serious? And we talked about it. He said, yeah, it exists. I went, what? And so I was able to find, thankfully, a copy. And like he said, the rest of them were reprints of old Ewoks comic books from the regular series run. But those little short stories that happen in between the comic books are just gold to me, because I like everything minute about the expanded universe, and this is as minute as you can get when you have things like Halloween and Monopoly being talked about. That's just awesome. So, should you break your back to get these? Absolutely not. If you can't find it, folks, do not worry. You're missing, what, 6 pages? You know, they're 2-page stories each of just random Ewok adventures based off of the cartoon. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. But if you do find that UK Annual, whoa, you know, lucky you. All right, folks, that is all the time I have for now. I'll see you next time with another video.